Hi everybody, this is Green Romantic. How are you guys doing today? And as you can see, Percy is in the background, just having a good old cat time. I just bought this new tripod, so now I can record my videos without propping it up on the edge of my computer, which is far superior to what I was doing before. Some of you who know me as a university professor. I work in Manitoba right now, but I got my Master's of English from the University of Northern British Columbia, which is where I also got my BA. As a person who has a Master's of English, I like to talk about literature a lot. My area focuses on the Gothic and Romanticism. I also like to look at female characters and their environment. That's what I wrote my thesis on, was female characters and their environment in a Gothic setting in The Romance of the Forest and the Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe and the Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I really enjoyed writing my thesis, so I hope that when I talk about it you guys aren't bored. I consider myself an activist. Particularly in the areas of environmentalism and also Indigenous rights. Right now I'm really focused on the environmental impact of my own actions, but also on the impacts of capitalism on the environment. I really like to talk about this with people, so I probably will in the future as well. As I mentioned, I'm also a teacher. Right now I am teaching academic or university writing, which is basically teaching students, mainly first-year students, how to write clear and concise academic essays, but also things such as proposals, how to outline things, research, summarizing and paraphrasing, that type of thing. So I really want to be able to improve my pedagogy, and I hope that by talking about it on here, I may get some suggestions or feedback on how to do things in a better way that increases learning ability among students. I should probably also mention that I am queer. I am gender fluid, which falls under the non-binary umbrella. I use they, them pronouns. I'm not going to argue about this because my identity exists and I don't care if you think I don't. I'm also pansexual, which I will probably take time in a different video to go into. And I also am on the aromantic spectrum. I identify as gray romantic, which is a little bit interesting. So it's really fun being super gay, but I mean, I think it is. I don't know about you. Anyways, that's me. Woo! I'm also a huge fan of science fiction and fantasy. So I really like to read science fiction and fantasy, but I also like to write science fiction and fantasy as sort of a creative thing. So I do write fiction, particularly LGBTQ fiction, as well as poetry. So sometimes I may or may not decide to share that with you as well. My poetry writing encompasses not just science fiction and fantasy, but also things like depression, as well as struggles with academia and things like that. So I would really like to share some of that with you at some point too. So tune in for that. I also have a cat, as some of you may have noticed. This one likes to get in the way when I'm trying to record videos, apparently. And he's struggling right now, but I love him. I love him. It's too bad that he does not like to be hugged too much. But that's too bad because I love him so much. There we go, Percy. This is his punishment for getting in the way of the video, by the way. Nothing because I hate him or anything. I love him. He's a good boy most of the time, except when he's a bad boy. I may have also mentioned that I am British Columbian who is currently living in Manitoba. I just got here in August, so I have yet to pass a winter in Manitoba, which I am told is going to be freezing. Minus 45 apparently, according to my students who laughed at me when I told them that I was from BC. It does get to about minus 30 in BC, but minus 45 is really pushing it. Yes, thank you, Percy, I understand. So hopefully I will survive the winter. You will see what happens. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to my introductory video. I'm hoping that I will be able to keep this up on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, hopefully. It all depends on how much marking I get. Yay, marking, my favorite. Anyways, that's what I have to do right now, so I will see you on the flip side.